The rich and powerful will not feel privileged, and the brave will not be proud. Teachers will not need to teach, and ministers will not need to advise. Guided by non-action, the sage does not need to speak to inspire others. Like a dragon or a snake, he can lengthen or shorten, expand or contract, and move or rest according to the demands of the situation. Externally, his behavior is consonant with the times. Internally, he keeps his own principles. His actions do not dazzle, his eyes and ears do not judge, and his thoughts do not wander. United with the Spirit, he embraces simplicity and lives in the realm of the great clarity. Because he is in harmony with all things, everything blooms in his presence. The enlightened person knows that the sky, the earth, the four directions, the breath of yin and yang, the moisture of rain and dew, and acts of virtue are all part of the greater scheme of things belonging to a universal harmonious order. There are many different species of trees, but they are all the same in the eyes of the Tao. Different nations have different customs, but to the Tao they are one large family of people. Everything in the universe is connected. It is said that seeing the flight of ravens and hearing the sound of flutes can conjure images of the frontier. When clouds gather, rain will fall. When moisture penetrates the earth, it becomes one with the soil. Cloud, rain, water, and soil respond to one another, not because they have certain skills, but because they are part of the natural way of things. Focus on differences, and things in proximity will feel distant. Focus on unity, and everything will be connected and related to everything else. Many philosophers try to solve the problems of the world, but they can only offer limited solutions. This is because they are not connected with the source. For example, Sun Tzu, 544 to 496 BCE, Mozi, 470 to 391 BCE, and Mencius, 372 to 289 BCE, all had different views on good government and effective leadership, but their teachings are like single spokes on a wheel that are neither necessary nor sufficient for the wheel to function. Although it is possible to build a functioning wheel without spokes, it is not possible to build a wheel with only spokes. It is the structural roundness of the wheel, not the spokes, that makes the wheel work. The sage knows that when something is separated from its source, its use is limited. Take, for example, the bits of metal that fly from the forge when a sword is being hammered on the anvil. These metal bits do not have much use in and of themselves because they are not part of the sword being made at the forge. They may have small uses, but because they are disconnected from the larger whole, they cannot be made into a functional object. Therefore, things that are not connected to the greater order cannot be the touchstone of reality, and teachings that are not connected to the Tao cannot offer a vision of the greater order of things. Today, people are more concerned with acquiring skill than being connected to the natural way. Martial artists, calligraphers, and even government ministers all learn from a standard set of instructions. If these disciplines are learned separately, a skilled calligrapher cannot become an accomplished warrior, and an expert martial artist cannot become a good minister. Skill is specific to a single area of expertise and does not give us an understanding of the nature of action. If you understand the natural way, however, you will know that the principles behind calligraphy, the martial arts, and statecraft are the same. When something is removed from the source, it no longer has the same properties. Cloth dyed black can appear darker than the dye, but the dyed cloth cannot be used as the source of the dye. Similarly, knowledge is diluted when it is removed from the source. The farther it is from the source, the less effective it will be. Even the teachings recorded in books are empty words if they are not connected to the source. If the sky is not balanced, the sun and the moon will not follow their paths. If the earth is not balanced, trees and grass will not grow. If we are not in harmony and at peace with ourselves, we will not be able to distinguish truth from lies. Therefore, true knowledge can only come from the heart of an enlightened person. If we do not know the ultimate reality, how can we know whether something is true or false? The sage puts her spirit at the center of her being and returns to the state before things were born, but she is able to see, hear, and act in clarity. Because she has no intention, she can accomplish great things. Because she knows through not knowing, she can understand the ultimate reality. To be kind, compassionate, and generous, and to bring happiness to others, this is benevolence. achieving great deeds, commanding respect from others, setting things in order, separating private and public interests, discriminating the useful from the useless, keeping the country safe, training others for succession, putting down rebellions, building temples and shrines, and being kind to orphans and widows. This is integrity. Closing the 9 openings of the body, hiding intention and will, abandoning know-how, returning to the state of not knowing, wandering far from the dust of the world, living leisurely in the realm of non-action, embracing yin and yang, and being at one with everything. This is virtue. The Tao and virtue. When the Tao flourishes, there is virtue. When virtue is absent, benevolence and integrity emerge. Once benevolence and integrity are here to stay, virtue will be gone. Lao Tzu, 604 to 531 BCE, once said that the great Tao can dissolve benevolence and integrity, and that benevolence and integrity can destroy the Tao. This is because when there is virtue, there is no need for benevolence and integrity. When virtue is gone, benevolence and integrity are needed to maintain order in society. Virtue is part of the Tao. Benevolence and integrity are creations of humanity. Virtue is part of the natural way. Benevolence and integrity appear when the natural way is abandoned. When society disintegrates, philosophers and teachers appear. In the final years of the Zhou dynasty, 1046 to 256 BCE, the followers of Confucius and Mozi debated